Hi, and welcome to Clappia. In this video, we'll see how to connect Clappia with AI using MCP, so you can use AI prompts to build your apps. And this video will focus on creating apps. Instead of manually adding fields or configuring every block, you can open an MCP-compatible AI like Claude, ChatGPT, etc., and tell it to create a specific app. For example, an employee MIS app, and the AI will set it up for you inside Clappia. You can then refine it by asking it to add workflows, charts, fetch app details, and so on, just by giving natural instructions. This connection works using MCP. In simple words, it lets the AI directly talk to your Clappia account through a secure bridge. In this video, I'll walk you through the setup on a Mac system. If you're on Windows, don't worry, the process is slightly different and I'll be releasing a separate tutorial for that shortly. I will also link a document to the setup in the description box below, which you can follow. Now, let's set it up. There are 3 steps. First, you will need to install some packages onto your system. Next, download Claude desktop version if you're using Claude as the AI and connect it to Clappia. And finally, give prompts to create your apps. Let's start with the setup on your system. Open Terminal. The first thing to do is install Homebrew, which is a package manager for Mac. From the document given in the description box, just copy and paste this command into your terminal and press enter. Enter your system password, press enter again. Homebrew should now be installed. Next, install the MCP proxy. The MCP proxy acts as a local bridge that lets your AI assistant securely communicate with Clappia using the MCP protocol. From the document, run this command in terminal. Once that's installed, you're done with the terminal setup. Now, we'll download the Claude desktop so it knows how to talk to Clappia. MCP works with multiple AI clients, but I'll be using Claude desktop here as an example. So, from the document, visit this website. Click on Mac OS. It is better to have a paid version of Claude, otherwise the MCP connection may not work. Once you download Claude Desktop, sign in with your account. Now in your Claude Desktop app, go to Settings, then click on Developer and then Edit Configuration. You will get a list of files and folders. You will have one that says Claude Desktop Config. Click on that. And over here, paste the JSON that is there in the document. This JSON defines the MCP server connection for Clappia. It uses the MCP proxy command to connect your AI client with Clappia. You will see an API key placeholder. Replace your API key with your actual Clappia API key. So head over to your Clappia workplace. On the left panel, click on Workplace Settings, then go to Preferences, API Keys, and on the right panel, copy your API key. If you've never generated an API key before in your Clappia workplace, click on the button that says Generate API Key and then copy that. Paste that API key in the JSON file where your API key is mentioned. Then copy the whole code and paste it over here. Hit Command S to save it and then close this. Now after this, close Claude Desktop completely. This part is important. You need to restart Claude Desktop so the servers appear. And if they don't show up the first time, just close and reopen Claude again. Make sure you quit the application entirely. And that's it for the setup. Let's see how this works in practice. When it comes to creating apps with AI, the more instructions you give, the better it can shape the app to your needs. Of course, you don't always need to go into detail, but giving context, like what industry you're in, helps the AI build something more tailored to your use case. Before proceeding, make sure that Claude has access to certain aspects of your Clappia dashboard. So just click on Search in Tools and check if the connections are enabled. As you can see, there are quite a few different connections here. Each one controls a specific part of your Clappia workplace. For example, if you leave the workflow option disabled, you won't be able to add workflows in the app. This is useful if you want to prevent the AI from creating additional things in your app, but you could also mention that in your prompt. This option will appear after you've set up the MCP connection. I can get started in creating an app. So let's test this out. Let's start with a detailed prompt. So I'll type in create an inventory app for a factory warehouse. And I'll also ask Claude to ensure that it has fields such as these. You'll notice I've included an email ID here. That is required so that the app is assigned to an account and becomes accessible from the Clappia dashboard. So make sure you do that. Now I'll hit enter. It may take a couple of minutes depending on the complexity of your app, but Claude will automatically create the app in Clappia. Along the way, it'll also tell you exactly what it has added, the sections, fields, and how it has configured them. Now over here you can see all the sections and fields that Claude has added to the Clappia app. One thing to note, I did change my prompt to include this word because in my earlier prompt, it actually gave me only a few fields based on the fields that I requested. So since I wanted it to actually create an inventory app by itself, but having these extra fields, I just changed my prompt slightly. And that's what it did. Once it's ready, head over to your Clappia dashboard. So I'll head over to my Clappia dashboard to show you the app. And here's the new app called Factory Warehouse Inventory with all the section and fields, including the fields that I asked for. And more importantly, it does everything you would normally do in the design app yourself. That means naming the app, adding sections, adding fields, configuring the fields on the right panel, and it can also reorder, edit, and even have advanced logic like nested dropdowns or calculation blocks. It can also apply validations. It can interconnect apps using the get data from other apps block, and so on. Essentially, Claude is doing the heavy lifting for you. Now, let's see how we can edit this app using prompts. So let's say I want to add a field for item weight, which I don't believe is there in this app. So I'll head over to the Claude desktop and give it an instruction, add a field for item weight. Now, usually you can just give in a regular prompt like so. However, if you are dealing with multiple applications, it is better to give the app ID so that Claude knows which app it needs to edit. To get your app ID, in your app, go to the Design app and on the right panel, just copy this. You can also find the app ID in the URL and paste it over here in your prompt in any which way you might like. Now, you don't always have to give the app ID, but if you have used the same chat session for multiple apps in your workplace, it's best to directly give it. Better to be safe. Alright, it says that it has added a field and an extra field as well, which even I didn't account for. And I'll just check that out. I'll refresh this. Could rather just go to App Home, and it has added it, along with the options for the weight. What if you want to edit fields? The right panel configurations. In such cases, you will need to give the variable names in your prompt so that Claude knows exactly which fields to edit. Let's say I want to edit this field. Obviously, I can do this on my own if it's just one field, but imagine there are multiple such fields. In the prompt, I can say something like edit this variable name. Now, I know this is a very simple edit, but this just shows you how to use AI to edit certain fields in your app. Click on Allow for it to make any edits. It says it has made the changes, so let me just check that. I'll refresh, and it has done so. Next, let's add a workflow. So currently it's blank. Let's say I would like an email to be sent whenever the current stock level is below a certain limit. So I'll just check this variable name. It's current stock. Copy this. And in Claude Desktop, I'll give a prompt like add a workflow to send an email to this email ID when the current stock is less than 15. Now I'll hit enter. Click on allow. Alright, now it says that it has added the workflow. So let me just check that. I'll head over to workflows, refresh this, and it has been added. So first it has used an if condition node to check whether the current stock is less than 15 and used an email node to send it to this email address. It has given the subject and the body. It has also put in the field variables to pull in the field values dynamically. Similarly, you can even ask it to create charts from your app data. So let's say I give it another prompt like so. And over here in the generation, it says that the current app does not have a supplier field yet. So it created that for me. And then it shows me how to create the bar chart in Clappia. Now this has happened because I forgot to re-enable this option. So if I do that and give the prompt again, it should set it up. Ideally, keep all the options enabled. So it's done just that. Let's check it out. I'll just refresh this page and it has added it. It says no data because currently there are no submissions in the app. Now this app was created by giving the AI details in the prompt, as you've seen earlier in the video. Not exactly detailed, but you get the idea. But what if you're not sure what to type or don't want to get into specifics yet? You can actually start with something really simple. For example, just saying create an inventory app for the email address. I actually did that earlier. I just gave in this prompt and this is what it created. You'll see it's very comprehensive and industry agnostic. That means you can adapt it to retail, manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, really any sector. And if you need tweaks, you can either ask Claude to make those adjustments directly, or you can always fine-tune things manually inside Clappia. It depends on your preference. And again, just a note, if you don't give the variable names and just the field name instead in your prompts for editing a field, or maybe there was some internal error, Claude will also tell you how you can set it up by yourself just in case you need it or are unsure on how to set it up. And that's how you can connect AI with Clappia using MCP. and start building apps through simple prompts. Whether you give detailed instructions for a specific industry or just a short, simple request, the AI takes care of setting up everything inside Clappia, from creating sections and fields to adding workflows, charts, and so on. This means you can go from an idea to a working app in minutes without manually building it step by step. And if you ever need adjustments, you can either guide the AI further with prompts or fine tune things manually in Clappia. You will get the same app as a Clappia mobile app as well, and it'll work in the offline mode. If you haven't downloaded the Clappia mobile app, you can do so either on Play Store or App Store, and the moment you sign in, all your apps will be there, live and ready to use. If you have any questions while setting this up or while trying this out, or on any other feature in Clappia, you can raise a support request by clicking on the button over here. Select this option. Our AI support is trained on all of Clappia's material to give you a tailored solution, or reach out to our Clappia solution and support team and we'll get in touch. Thank you.